Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Friends, you might have thought I've forgotten all about gene therapies and I'm more into artificial intelligence. No, that's not the case. I still keep track of all our genomic stocks. And today I want to talk to you about CRISPR. I want to give you some new information. And a main problem for us in the gene therapy area is that none of the companies in our watch list have any milestones happening or any catalyst happening. After a long time, I got some news about CRISPR. That's the subject of today's video. Let's get started. Welcome back, friends. We now have news that Health Canada has given Vertex Pharmaceuticals new drug submission or NDS for a treatment called Exacel. I mean, we already know that Exacel is Casgevy, but that's the name with which they have registered it in Canada. A priority review status has been given to it by the Canadian Health Agency, and this treatment is aimed at helping patients aged 12 years and older with sickle cell disease who currently experience VOCs or vaso-occlusive crisis, as well as patients in the same age group with TDT or transfusion-dependent beta thalassemia. The sequence towards certification by Health Canada seems to consist of the following steps. First is the preclinical research. Next is phase 1 clinical trial, phase 2 clinical trial, if applicable, phase 3 clinical trial, and then comes new drug submission or NDS. And after the NDS, you have the review process and then the decision, and after that, post-market monitoring happens. So as you can see, CRISPR Therapeutics has leveraged earlier trial results and entered the NDS stage. And what surprises me is that countries in the Middle East, Europe, and UK have already approved Casgevy. I wonder what took Canada so long, and I wonder why it took so long to get a NDS in Canada. Anyway, with the priority review, the conventional review timeline of 300 days is reduced to 180 days in Canada. Therefore, in the next 6 months, I think we will have approval from Canada, and that could be another catalyst that can revive the fortunes of this great stock, I think, which has drifted away due to lack of any catalyst or news. CRISPR Therapeutics owns 40% of the rights to revenues generated by Casgevy, the gene editing therapy, and I think there are more than 100,000 people who have TDT in the US, while it is estimated that globally around 60,000 symptomatic individuals are born annually in the majority of the developing world. Now, friends, whatever I have after this is things that you already know, and if you have other important things, you can just move out of the video, or else you can continue watching. So meanwhile, sickle cell disease approximately affects around 100,000 Americans, while there are estimated to be around 7.74 million sufferers of SCD globally. The majority of sufferers are from Black and African community, and predicting the exact size of the market for Casgevy is very challenging. Since the second US approval in January, the treatment has also received green light in the European Union, Saudi Arabia, and Bahrain. It was first approved in the UK. The Middle East is a potentially huge market where couples across the region are often required to take genetic testing before marriage as part of a wider effort to reduce the prevalence of diseases like SCD. Now, if you look at the countries like Bahrain and Saudi Arabia who have approved this, they have plenty of money and they are known to provide therapies for their citizens. So there is going to be no problem in paying the money, because at $2.2 million per therapy, these therapies are expensive, and the main question is who will be paying for the treatment. This price tag puts it out of the reach of many people. However, there is evidence that states, that very states will support the treatment after giving regulatory approval in their states. But I think that when it comes to developing countries, even if the government is able to pay for the treatment for, let us say, select cases, like they look at the people who have the worst kind of VOEs, like VOEs happening much more frequently and from a difficult stratus of society, or whatever parameters they create. So if they have hundreds of cases, maybe they subsidize 10 and treat 10 of them. The treatment process could be very long. So that is the second concern out here. will the government be able to sustain this kind of expenses, especially in poorer countries and developing countries? So the process for Casgevy implementation takes as long as a year. First, the patient will get a mobilization medicine to liberate blood stem cells from the bone marrow and release it into the bloodstream so that it can be collected not only to create the treatment but also create a backup to infuse back into the patient's body in case during the Casgevy manufacturing process some accident happened and the cells were lost, or if after infusing Casgevy, the Casgevy modified cells do not engraft onto the bone marrow. So in both of those eventualities, they need the actual original cells, which is undisturbed, kept in the reserve so that it can be put back into the patient's body and at least they can start making blood cells even if it is defective. So this process has to be repeated multiple times until sufficient cells are collected. And each time this process is done, it needs 1 week of hospital stay. Then the blood stem cells are processed to create Casgevy, and this process takes 6 months. And the third step consists of administering a conditioning agent to clear cells from the bone marrow, make it empty so that Casgevy can go and engraft in there. And this step needs hospital stay until Casgevy infusion takes place and Casgevy establishes in the bone marrow. This step can take around 4 to 6 weeks of hospital stay. Estimates suggest that there are around 35,000 people with severe forms of SCD who may be in line to receive treatment. Still, Casgevy is one of 2 CRISPR technologies on the market for treating the disease. One conservative estimate has suggested that the initial market could be 32,000 patients, and at $2.2 million per treatment, that's around $70.4 billion market. And I think due to lack of news, the CRISPR Therapeutics stock is languishing. Any news from the company, whether it is for sickle cell disease or it's for CTX211, diabetes or anything, can bring back enthusiasm and momentum, as fundamentally the company seems to be on track to be a biotech powerhouse in the making. So friends, I would like to hear from you what you think of CRISPR Therapeutics. Are you still holding CRISPR Therapeutics? And how has your opinion changed since the approval of Casgevy, almost I will say globally? I'd like to hear from you. As far as I am concerned, I took profit on CRISPR Therapeutics. I had 100. I sold it for 71. And while I held the stock, I also made money through covered calls. So I'm happy and I want to re-enter the stock, but I think that it will fall below 60. And that's when I'm planning to make a move. I would like to hear from you. What are your strategies? And also this Sunday, that is tomorrow, we are going to have the members only Zoom call. I'd like to hear from you guys. Please join me there and we'll have a discussion. And we can also include Casgevy and CRISPR Therapeutics for the discussion. With that said, my friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end and I'll catch up with you again in the next video. And members, I'll see you in the Zoom call tomorrow. Take care. Bye for now.